War leads to shattered houses, defeated warriors, and an uncertain future. Many experienced this when Hodor marched south. Slowly, a fear grew into many hearts of brave men and women. It does not take much before fear and anger of loss becomes a much stronger feeling: rage. Hodor had successfully expanded their house in the south. Now they ruled the entire north, with a few exceptions, as well as the majority of the lands in the Reach. Satisfied with their conquest, they had now settled down. Without any direct threats from the other houses, they decided to care for their wounded and to continue to grow in power. As the kingdom turned quiet and calm, yet again the inhabitants of Westeros would be surprised. Out of what seemed like nowhere, a man rised and began to unite the kingdom. A man named Pyroman. Originally from House Sands, he started a new house called Rage. Together with his alleged brother Vendetta, they quickly gained followers and were actively recruiting everyone they could. At first it was hard to know what their intentions were, but as Vendetta grew incredibly fast in power, it seemed they had their aim set on total domination. Hodor had his council informed that an alliance had been made with his newly founded house. As time went by, since Hodor's march south, some new houses had been made as well. Some people who had once been a part of older houses had now found a new one. Houses worth mentioning, who would also play a bigger role for the kingdom later, were the houses referred to as the Foodies. Some well-known members were El Stormbacon, Lord Jax, and Telemanus in House Bacon, Heartblade in House Fries, and Mrs. Potato Head and Golden Potato in House Spuds. However, with Vendetta's continual growth in power, the old houses soon started to fall in line behind Rage. Sands, Laban, Honor, and all the houses Hodor and the Khals had fought started to wear the red banner of Rage. Miki, Gaza, and DOD heard whispers about the two brothers of Rage. Many indicated they were tyrants, threatening the old houses to fall in line or face Vendetta's wrath. Others said they simply wanted refugee, something they most likely would obtain by being a part of Rage. This worried Miki, Gaza, and DOD. They had enjoyed the thrill of conquesting and battling their way for dominance. They agreed that this would most certainly be a new version of Golds, something they simply could not allow. Days went by, and like the Khals had feared, now all the big houses had joined House Rage. With a few exceptions, House Light, which still had Caralho on the throne, House Hodor, which remained in the north and the Reach, still as allies to Rage, and the much smaller houses like the Foodies. Rage had now expanded into 3 houses, all with the same banner and name. With 450 members, and Vendetta, who had now grown to unbelievable power, they seemed to be untouchable. Vendetta and Pyroman's plan had gone accordingly. No one dared to challenge them. Or so they thought. The 3 Khals decided that it was time they created House Khal and to fight back against the tyrants in Rage. After discussions with Hodor and the rest of the council, the Khals were promised to remain as allies and family to House Hodor, even though they would not aid the Khals in their war against Rage. Once everything was settled, Miki, Gaza and DoD, together with a handful of members, started House Khal. They wasted no time. Miki went to the island of Dragonstone and burned every keep there was, and stated to the entire kingdom that the Khals were back. They did not stop there. They wanted to send a clear message to Vendetta and Pyroman. They were coming for them. The three Khals first went to Castellary Rock, who were defended by no one else than the leader of House Sands, Mistral. Mistral fell defeated against the sharp Arak blades of the Khals, and Miki took Castellary Rock as his. With haste, the Khals went for their next target, Sunspear, the very heart of House Sands, to claim as theirs. They did not only face victory that day. A warrior by the name of Lord Jum managed to fend off the attackers. The Khals had now faced both victory and defeat, but they had drawn first blood, and more was to be shed. When the snows fall and the white winds blow, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.